Coming up here, Circle the Rate Podcast, episode 61. 61. Damn, 61 already here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, man, my goodness, my God. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to go ahead and recap this past Wednesday and Saturday, actually, Dynamite too. Dynamite and from Saturday and yesterday, Wednesdays. We'll be recapping that and also feature news for AEW as well. Also, pro wrestling news. More cuts are coming. More cuts are coming. Jesus, man. It's a dark day in WWE, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and of course, our predictions for NXT American Bash, much more. So don't go anywhere as 61 begins right now. Welcome everyone to the Circle the Rate Podcast. This is the host of TV's One ABC, here with my brother from another mother, because he is the by God of podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. Because he is the master disaster, the king of Sting, the man with the plan. That is Money Mike Lopez, ladies and gentlemen.
Great to be here. Awesome as always. 61. We are only 8 away from Matt's favorite number. Can't wait.
As you can see, Matt. As you can see, Matt's not here because he broke his hand, courtesy of Bradley Cutler. So Matt Callis is not in today, and of course, the director. He's taking a little break after his performance. If you guys saw that vlog that the Money Mike got a podcast that we put out on the channel. We had a phenomenal time. What an incredible birthday weekend for me. And of course, a great time for the one and only CK1 and for, of course, our music producer, Leo DeCoy Estrada. Man, you had a fun time, Mike. I had a fun time.
I had a great time. It's been too long since I've been to a show, and I wanted to make sure to hold off on any others because I wanted to see CK1 and Leo, I love it, perform. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then us getting in the mosh pit, right? Like, aren't we too old for that? But we got in the mosh pit. I can't believe we
Age
did.
is just a number.
Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Yes, you're absolutely right. Age is only a number for us. That is right. But we did it. We haven't done it in a long time, but we had an incredible time. And kudos to, shout out to Akasha for a great performance. Man, that was insane. If you guys don't like metal, I'm sorry, but us, Mike and I, we're metal fans. We love metal. Yeah. All right, so let's start it off with WWE Dynamite.
Oh, gosh.
WWE Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. AEW Dynamite. But first, let's start off with Saturday, though, very quickly. I think Saturday's match was great between Jungle Boy and King Omega. Man, I can literally say that match was 10 beers for me. And just the crowd, it's just that underdog moment that Jungle Boy had the opportunity, but obviously the God of Pro Wrestling came up through and retained the AEW World Title. But what were your thoughts about that match, buddy Mike? What do you grade that match? What were your thoughts first of all?
Okay. Not 10 beers, no. I honestly would give it like 7.5. Had it been a Jungle Boy victory, I would have gone with the 10. It would have been totally different. Premature, sure, but I would have given it a 10 for that surprise. I feel like what kind of hurt it is I felt like I already knew who was going to win, right? Yeah. Kenny Omega. But given that both guys did a phenomenal job, um, you know, 7 point. I'll give it a 7.5 right now.
All right, definitely. Now let's move on with this week's Dynamite. Uh, Looks like a lot of plots are coming in. A lot of them are coming in. Well, at least I can say two of them that we predicted already for quite some time in the previous archives. So make sure you check out our archives, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, but first let's start off. Let's start off with overall the event. Let me know what like your thoughts about the opening match. The opening match, obviously, we had Eddie Kingston and Penta Cero Miedo defeating the Young Bucks, now getting the number one contendership for the AEW tag team titles. So what were your thoughts about the opening match?
Excellent, man. Cero Miedo. I'm a Penta fan. What can I say? I got Penta back here somewhere. You know, um, yeah, it's like WWE. I think would have had the Bucks win. I don't know, and I hate to compare WWE, and I hate bringing that up again. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise because I felt for a little bit there that the AEW was kind of falling into that whole thing of predictability and I already know who's gonna win, but okay, well let's just watch it anyway. No, they honestly I was pleasantly surprised. Benta picked up the win. He pinned, Mr. Young Buck, and it was a great match, great solid match. The best thing, or one of the best things that I enjoy from Dynamite, is that they start off with an awesome match. They always start with an excellent match.
I agree.
And that is just something that Raw needs to get in on, because they could definitely benefit from that sort of format.
Absolutely, they do. They definitely need to. Which we'll get into that in some pro wrestling news. Now, after that, we said Jungle Boy beating Jack Evans. We did see. What about this match? I want to get your thoughts about Miro versus Brian Pillman Jr. for the TNT title. I could say it was just kind of a squash match, but it wasn't too much of a squash though. I mean, Pillman had a little great momentum, but too much though, in my opinion. I mean, you're already making Miro strong enough, and this should have been like a squash match for him.
Yeah.
Very easily, but I kind of get why I guess they're trying to now push Pillman a little bit. That's what it looks like to me. So I don't know what your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I see it. I see that they're trying to push Pillman, and honestly, I don't even know what ranking he has, to deserve a title shot, right? He's a tag team competitor at this point. I was talking to somebody online about, and I feel like we'll talk about this later on, but the whole segment with with Dark Order and Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega saying, well, none of you are even ranked, so why are you guys out here, right? Kind of, I like that sort of thing, because had it been WWE, here we go again. Yes, I'm bringing them up again, but it to prove a point. The point being that sometimes, or a lot of times, WWE has had somebody as a sacrificial lamb for the heel champion to get heat over. Oh, he beat up. Like I would have imagined that they would have selected 5 to challenge Omega for the title, and then Omega beats the crap out of him just so he can get heat. But no, that did not happen. Why? Because he doesn't deserve a title shot yet. He's not ranked. So, the kind of the opposite here, giving I was about to say Griff Garrison, giving Brian Pillman Jr. The title shot, TNT, right? So I don't know. I that was a bit iffy for me, but in the end, Miro looking as dominant as ever. Game over. Yes, I'm all for Miro. Yes,
that's right. But who should be next for Miro though? It's just by the looks of it on those ranking systems. I don't. Who should be next?
Who's in the top 5?
See, that's the great question. I mean, I don't even. We have to
Let me
look
look
into
that
that.
up. Let's help our viewers here.
All right,
Let's
all
see.
right.
Top 5 ranking AEW. Okay. Let's see. AEW rankings as of June 30th. So we got Hangman at number 1, Orange Cassidy at number 2, but they kind of just got out of feud. Darby Allin at number 3, but Miro beat him for the title already. Jungle Boy number 4, and Matt Sydal at number 5. Wow. So of all 5, to start a rivalry or to start a feud with Miro, I would go with Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy, he's hot right now. He's got Anna Jay,
Oh my God!
So,
that's why. No wonder why Chris ain't here. He's probably pissed off.
I mean, Jungle Boy is on it at this point. So I would have Miro versus Jungle Boy be the rivalry, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, rankings work. AEW makes it work. Right there, I saw the top 5 contenders, and boom, I choose what would be an interesting storyline. So Clark Street wants to talk WWE and all that. Nuh-uh. Oh, hell no. Because AEW, they're getting better and better by the week.
Absolutely. And this will be actually a great point of that, because imagine Miro running over Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, just beating up his friends.
Yep.
And then at the end, like, okay, you're my last one to get. He gets, revenge for them and wins the TNT belt. Book it. Fighter Fest.
Oof.
Night 2. There you go. Why, Tony Khan, you got to call us. We could book this for you, man. We could write this story very, very well for you down the line. Miro, Jungle Boy for the TNT title. Let Jungle Boy win it. Why not?
I'm all for that.
I'm all for it. Absolutely. And, of course, we did see an injury cause there during Dynamite. Reba got injured during her tag match with Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. She dislocated her knee, unfortunately. If you saw that little run she did, it just buckled, and then that was it. She had to go down. Nyla had to drag her out. We are already fully aware that now Nyla Rose is because she's in the rankings as well. Since we talk about rankings, she's in number 1 in the rankings, right? So now we're gonna see Nyla versus Britt Baker at Fighter Fest already. Are you intrigued or are you like, what are we seeing here with this transitioning? I mean, obviously Britt Baker still considers herself as a heel.
Yeah.
But and Nyla's still a heel as well. Are we seeing the transition of Britt going to babyface, or she stays a heel?
It's cool because she could be a tweener. She could be both. And the thing is that, and I'm looking at the rankings here, Tay Conti, Thunder Rosa, we've seen that already. Chris Statlander, I feel needs a few more wins. Hikaru Shida, she just beat her for the title. So Nyla Rose is the obvious choice. Nyla Rose is what is known as a monster heel, right? And people are gravitating towards DMD, right? Myself included. Even though I've seen the potential since day 1. So don't come here saying, oh, he's just an AEW mark and he just likes Britt Baker because he's an AEW mark. No, she's awesome and she's a doctor. So, but yeah, I like that she can switch in between both of them. And honestly, if she keeps that heel persona and be babyface for this feud, I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you too. I like that in between. That could be either heel or face, or just be straight controversial.
Yeah.
Be like the devious one. Be so devious of either being a face or a heel. Why? I don't care. I love it. I love it. I love it. Courtesy of Leo. All right. And of course, the main event. Now, this main event, man, finally get to see it for the first time ever. for the first time, MJF versus Sammy Guevara. Of course, we know MJF picked up the victory. It was overall great match between both of them. Great chemistry. Yeah, we did see a couple botches there. I mean, if you guys missed, with the springboard hitting Sammy's hair, we did see a couple little them. But overall, it was fantastic. It was just overall both sides were great. I obviously did not like the win, but I mean it's a heel thing. So of course you're gonna have to bust the heel move in order to get this, pick up this victory the heelish way. So these two individuals as well as Jungle Boy is the future of All Elite Wrestling. That's a fact. And as you can tell, within the next maybe a year or so, less than that maybe, there will be a AEW World Heavyweight Title champion, either one of them, and they are going to bring that main event caliber to us, the fans. And I was, whoa, that's how I was. I was the edge off my seats because I thought Sammy had to first, pick up the win. Didn't happen with the 6:30. I was like, Jesus. So I was, oh my God, man, I loved it overall. I don't know how you felt about it. Talk to me, Money Mike.
In the words of our good friend Leo, I love it. Yes, that it will be a shirt, Leo. I promise you. And the thing is that, like you say, kept you on the edge of your seat. Two awesome performers at the prime of their career. If you look at last night's show, you had Darby Allin in there. You had Jungle Boy. You had, these two. You had Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky appear. For anybody that's saying, they're only getting guys from the other company, that's not true. We're seeing it before our very eyes. Are you not watching that two of the best in AEW are main eventing Dynamite and putting on one great match? And honestly, I felt that, it was very fast paced. And I feel that, sure, along with that comes botches here and there, but it doesn't take away how they're willing to take those the leaps, and figuratively speaking, because that's what you need. And from what I've heard, I'm no ratings expert by any means, but supposedly that segment got up to like 900,000 viewership. So, hey, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are there. People were interested to see this segment between two guys that have nothing to do with WWE, right? They just put on one excellent match.
Definitely, because the demographics were really high. And not only that, just the story, how they put it, even though it wasn't the greatest promo, but just how the video package, how they introduced it, that rivalry made a lot of sense. And we were waiting for this to happen when MJF was when he joined the Pinnacle. Inner Circle in the first place. And that's how we were just dying to see Sammy and MJF just butt heads. And even Chris, the one and only thought they're going to be allies at the end, betraying Jericho. And that would have been perfect too. That would have been, oh my God. That would have been like, oh shit. But seeing this, we've been wanting to see this for such a long time, and we got it. They delivered. Now you're right on point. Not every former WWE needs to be a main event for that television show. That's why it's all elite. It's all different, talent. It's not only just the Bucks or Kenny who are closing out the show. It's also, it's also Jungle Boy. It's also we saw Sammy, MJF. So, someone new is closing out the show. Why not?
We even saw Nick Comoroto versus Dustin Rhodes close out Dynamite the other day.
Right. Of course.
Opportunity is being given.
Yeah. And then why not? It's testing the waters anyways. And that's people should need to understand that. It's testing the waters. Just likewise with NXT. NXT does the same thing. It makes no difference. I mean, you're trying to level up your talent that you have not focused on too much. You want to put them into that high caliber level so them to get noticeable. Of course, it's the demographics, of course, counts from all parties. But this one did one of the best by far. We still
Yeah.
have to see what's going to happen more. There's a lot more coming, which I wanted to mention. These futures, future plots that are coming on. So you did mention the Dark Order coming up to Kenny Omega, saying, okay, oh yeah, but I've been everybody in the roster, the whole division. I think I'm gonna take a break. You can see me another programs defending the title. Of course, Dark Order comes out. The beautiful thing is that they didn't mention his name. The fans did, and neither did Kenny. So that's something that we've been saying this for quite some time. Now, I want to add this to it before I even ask you this question. Of course, we did see Taz already. This is a brink of already separating for Brian Cage. Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks at Fighter Fest already for the FTW title. So they're going to be button heads. This is already predicting right away that Brian Cage is going to go straight face. Team Taz turning on Cage. Ricky Starks gets the FTW title, be the new face for that belt, and then Cage going solo. Now this is, and this is my prediction. Now, but I want to hear your answer, like your rebuttal for it. If Adam Hangman Page, if they do book Kenny Omega, Adam Hangman Page at Fighter Fest, and Hangman Page does not win, then that means Brian Cage is going to be dethroning Kenny Omega. It might happen that way.
I disagree. I respectfully disagree, sir. Because there's more to this story than just one match and that's it.
Agreed.
At least I feel that this is going to have to be a progression in that here's what I would like to see. Fantasy booking here, courtesy of the god of podcasting, yes? I would like to see Hangman lose at Fighter Fest. Or, yeah, I guess Fighter Fest would be a good time. The reason being, I feel that Hangman winning the title should be saved for All Out, Chicago, and the event where he was supposed or was, he challenged, for it. He faced Chris Jericho and lost. He gets to redeem that and win the title right there and then. How full circle would that be? You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Unless they do that rivalry, like could do a trilogy with it, maybe, with Omega and Adam Hangman, but which you rarely see nowadays because they go based on ranking systems. But if they're capable of doing that, and in fruition having Hangman winning at All Out the AEW World Title, then I'll be like, wow, okay, this is something that of course the whole world will be shocked. And yes, you're absolutely right that it revolves from last year it was 2 years ago, right? It was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and now coming in and actually him winning it after 2 years makes a lot of sense. But the question is, would they allow it to be a rivalry based on the ranking systems? That's the question.
I think yes. And there's a way he's always been around the top 5, top 2, right?
Yeah.
He's always been there. And he even took a loss from Brian Cage and still is now ranked number 1. He avenged the loss, right? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Now, in any great story, the hero has to face adversity. Right now, he's facing adversity from within to the point where, I haven't really challenged it. He hasn't even challenged it for its since that one time. So the climb back has lasted over a year. Now, he loses this one at Fighter Fest. He's like bottom, like rock bottom, no pun intended. And the way back up, you know what? As champions do, you go right back up. And because, okay, let's go there. He wins the title at Fighter Fest. Then he just, he defends it. And the chase is always better than him having it. I feel so. Lose it at Firefest. Would go to All Out. They're making a weekend out of it. As announced on Dynamite. Go win it then. Bigger event. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. On the other one that I'm actually, I think I'm hoping that this ends because I'm already, being honest, already not feeling it anymore, which is the Darby Allin and Ethan Page. I hope this ends with a coffin match and Fighter Fest and just end it and move on because this is going too much already. This is the longest storyline that I've seen in AEW. I don't know what other one you can tell me. Remind me which other one was
None.
like
None. I do. What I'm confused about isn't this rivalry between himself and Scorpio Sky?
that's the confusing part because remember it was Scorpio Sky first, and then Ethan Page came out of nowhere. So it's like, what's up with that? Like, okay, which one is it? So it's like, I just think the storyline to end. They need to move on with this and do something else with Darby and with Ethan Page. I don't know. I mean, this story needs to end, in my opinion.
It's real simple. I don't know, or maybe they're waiting for, or they're just kind of waiting for All Out, or I don't know. But I honestly believe that they should be going into the tag team division with Sting. I really don't think Sting is going to win the TNT or AEW titles. I don't think that's going to happen. However, he could win the tag titles with Darby Allin, right? How cool would that be? They challenge the Bucks, whatever event it may be. It's going to sell tickets. I know I'll be tuning in to see something like that, to see Sting win a title again, and to see Darby Allin with Sting, that they've been together for a few months now. Make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of that, we're looking forward for next week because next week is obviously it was the last time for them to be at a daily place, courtesy of JR ending it. Oh yeah, well don't forget, get on tour for WWE Dynamite. I'm like, Jesus, JR, Mike, you have to understand that his blood is WWE, man. I mean, I love WWE too, but I'm not hating on JR. I mean, JR's mentality is always WWE, man. He's not going nowhere with that. It's in his blood, it's in his heart, it's in his soul. He's a WWE guy, no matter what. Whether you like it or not, he's a WWE guy. Give him JR, you need to stop drinking those Moscow mules before you start recording the Dynamite, bro. Gotta be careful.
I mean, hopefully it's just a mistake. Hopefully that's all it is.
That's twice.
Yeah.
Twice. First he called Kenny Omega WWE champion. Then he busted with this WWE Dynamite. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They need to let Excalibur lead more and let JR not do much and just give, be more of a color, not play, but color pretty much, color commentator. Let Excalibur be the play-by-play. Because JR, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I know that you made a comment. Yeah, I made a huge mistake. No, I'm not quitting. We saw that quote. Nobody's asking to quit. Nobody's bashing on you.
We love JR.
Of course, we love him. But let someone else take over that position. Let someone else take the ending, If I were you, Tony Khan, call Martin Moralo.
I mean, I wouldn't take it that far. How I would like for it to be, because I'm a just like any other wrestling fan my age. I love the Attitude Era. The whole thing between the banter between Jerry Lawler and JR, classic gold. Yes, absolutely. Every now and again, I watch WrestleMania 18 and go back and watch the Ric Flair versus Undertaker match. Badass. The banter that those two had.
Yes.
It just took the match. Yes, the match was great and all, but those two brought it up to a whole nother level, legendary level.
Hell yeah.
And, I would like for Tony Schiavone to kind of take that heel road, and then JR takes the role that we know of him as the good guy. He's always supporting the faces, and Excalibur is the transition. Honestly, if had it been that, sure, JR makes the mistake, but then Excalibur is able to kind of save the day at the end, having the final word, I don't think it would have been as bad.
No, yeah,
Right?
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But also, Scalator made a botch thing about the main event. He confused it. I forgot what he didn't. I think he messed it up with. I don't know what match. I think it was Britt Baker. I believe the main event. But Jericho corrected him. Jericho corrected him when he was on commentary. So, but of course, there's gonna be botches. Everybody makes mistakes. Even WWE makes mistakes and botches with the commentary. So I'm not hating on it. It's cool, man. It's what it is.
For me, I don't take it too serious because it's gonna end up on Botchamania and it's gonna be entertaining there. All the sorts of different things they could do with it. Yes, please, botch more.
Botch more, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. All right, so let's move on with pro wrestling news, of course. First, we want to say our condolences to the Patriot who passed away at the age of 59. Yeah, Mr. Del Wilkins. Condolences to your family, to your loved ones. Yeah. Great debut. And the originator of the Kurt Angle theme song, too. Especially. Debut with against his matches with Bret Hart was great. And Super Nitro that we had on the show teamed up with Patriot. So, yeah, condolences to the family. All right, so also do not forget that as well. Oh, speaking of producers leaving, Sanjay Dutt left WWE, was an NXT producer and WWE producer, left, put in his 2 weeks, and the following week, he started on AEW. He's now a producer for AEW. This is telling you that WWE is doing major cuts, ladies and gentlemen, major cuts. They're not done yet.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he quit.
Okay.
He quit. But it's like he probably knows something that we don't know. For him to leave like that and the following week start with AEW, something's going on. Why would you do that? Why would you leave from the NXT and WWE brand to AEW in less than 2 weeks to join? It doesn't make any sense to me. How you gonna quit and go? It's like something's going on that obviously we do not know. That maybe he found out something. Is I better get out of here before they start doing it. Yep, great move, I would say. But there's still Nick Khan from WWE is doing more cuts. I mean, we already saw the recent cuts from Killian Dane, Forever Rise to Fandango, Tyler Breeze. Yes, we're gonna miss all that. Dango. And it was just a shocker to see a lot of more cuts coming from the NXT brand, and now there's more coming in the headquartered brands again in the HQ. So I don't know what is Nick Khan, and like I said, Vince McMahon gave him the power to do whatever he needs to do to refix WWE. I don't know what he needs to fix, but I just I wish him the best. We had this previous conversation, Money Mike had it with David Wrestling Guy store, if they're selling or not. That's still like the biggest cue that we have in our mind. So how do you feel about all this cuts and Sanjay just jumping one ship to another? I mean, you tell me how you feel, Money Mike, about that.
Listen, nothing personal against Vince McMahon. Never met the guy, never even seen him in person. But the reality is, if my 70-year-old uncle comes down to the house, no offense, Uncle Mark, but if he comes over to the house and starts telling me stories, I don't know. I some of them might not be as entertaining as, say, if my cousin of a similar age as me shows up and tells me stories of what's going on with him, right? This is what's going on here. In one side, we've got Vinnie Mac in his 70s, I believe, telling us his stories, sports entertainment and whatnot. It's filtered through him. On the other side, we've got Tony Khan, a more updated, I guess, modern way of looking things in the wrestling business, I'm gonna relate more to the younger guy, you know. So the cut that needs to happen, all in all, is Vince. I think. Again, nothing personal, Mister Vinnie Mac. Nothing personal whatsoever. I'm just going based off of myself as a consumer of professional wrestling and what I would like to see on my screens.
Ah, there you go, pal. Is that it's just Vinny, man? You gotta sit down, relax, enjoy your turkey sandwich. Let Paul Levesque take over. That's it. Let him take over. You know, and look what he did. He brought Samoa Joe back for you. We did it but not to you. He brought it for himself for NXT, and now Samoa Joe being not only as an in-ring performer, hopefully he'll be back, but as a on-air talent, as an enforcer, but also now a talent scout. Like, oh, this I love this. I love it that Samoa Joe has an opportunity. It just people who are in the performance center should pick on Samoa Joe's brain for the knowledge that this individual has from his career and still going. Hopefully, like once he makes his return. So yes, Vinny, you need people like that to run your business, not some TV producer or anybody who doesn't know about wrestling. But you don't need to know wrestling. Which all you got to do is know how to tell a story, and the wrestlers will do the rest. They'll tell the story in the ring. That's just the way I see it. All right, now speaking of AEW, the first match. If you noticed that, you saw that right? When Eddie Kingston held one of the Jacksons. You see how bent that? Okay. I feel that he did that to Bully Ray because if you recall this past weekend, Eddie Kingston made a comment post after the show that, well, yeah, we give the fans what they want. We're not the ones, our competition that they don't give their fans what they want, bashing WWE. Bully Ray had a response for that on Busted Open Radio. And he's like, well, fuck you, stand on your line. Like pretty, defending WWE, but Bully Ray made his points. You haven't been there. You've been in the Indies for almost 20 years. You barely just signed into a major promotion, and for you to bash on the competition doesn't give you any right. Jericho has the right to, Cody has the right to, and I have the right to. But you that never been in WWE should not say anything about your competitor. If anything, I'll vouch for you that you're putting the flag and talk about AEW instead of talking about WWE, bashing them, throwing it. That was Bully Ray's comments. Now let me give you Eddie Kingston's response to that. Hey, calm down. It's a friendly competition. It's competition. This is like the '90s era. Why not do this shit? They're paying me to do this shit. They signed me. They're relying on me. Yes, they know my career for 20 years, but hey, they picked me. They chose me. And guess what? I'm going to do what is best for the company, even to piss off other people, whether they like it or not, or the fans that like it or not. Hey, it's part of the business, but hey, I want to bring back that old school 90s, the old school wars. So what is your response to that, Money Mike? Who do you agree with on this one?
I'm going with Kingston because, it's you can't take it too seriously. You just can't. Would I want him to not mention WWE or the competition or whatever? Honestly, if I had to pick, I would actually want him to talk crap about Impact. Why, you ask? In kayfabe, Impact is coming over or they're going to AEW. There's storylines that could be made there, as far as I know, and I might know or not know, or I could be wrong, that Don Callis passed on Eddie Kingston years ago, right? So I would rather him kind of push that, instead of WWE, which is something that will never happen. It's just you're teasing something that will never be, right? It's like the McRib being around all year long. It's
Oh
not
my
going to
God.
happen.
No.
No. So why tease that idea? So no, go against them. Go for impact. Talk crap about them. Crossover. That's what we've been wanting to see, more crossovers. So I would rather go and do that.
I agree. At least should be something like that, at least to start with the crossovers, or to at least the NWA or New Japan, at least something. WWE is not. It's not. It's not gonna happen. But also, speaking of WWE, I want to talk about is but Matt's not here. But I'm gonna say it to everyone. Bea Priestley. People are not familiar with Bea Priestley. She is a former Stardom um, alumni in the roster. Also, the girlfriend of Will Ospreay made her debut. Is making her debut in NXT UK. We've been saying quite sometimes in the archives, Matt and I, where would she land? And did not expect this, that she signed with NXT UK and has her name. She changed her name. She's not Bea Priestley there. Now she is known as Blair Davenport. So I'm looking forward to see her debut in NXT UK. Yeah, I know the name is okay, but I just still want to see her perform, and I'm looking forward to seeing her in that women's roster in UK, which they're great, by the way, and something that I know we don't talk too much because obviously we're overwhelmed with a lot of pro wrestling content, but don't worry though, we will soon. We will definitely keep an eye on that product soon and keep you updates with that. And also, New Japan News very briefly. So we have the August 14th event already named, but they're still waiting for the main event on August 14th here in our city here of Los Angeles. We'll be holding, of course, a New Japan event, and which is at the LA Torch, formerly known as the LA Coliseum. And one of the events they already on the card is David Finlay getting a shot at the never openweight title for versus Jay White. We're still waiting on Moxley. Who's going to be Moxley's next opponent for the IWGP US belt? We do not know yet. By what we know and what has been, of what we've heard, but he's giving our opinions about it. Nobody from New Japan in Japan are coming to the States. They can't afford it. It's too much because they have to be in quarantine for 2.5 weeks, then come out, then going back, they have to be in quarantine for another 2.5 weeks. So they can't risk that at all. And also, New Japan is also having an event for New Japan Strong tapings on Monday, that August the 16th. They're having tapings, and that is at the Thunder Studios in Long Beach. And it's going to be another one right there that we're going to try to go ahead and make it there. Circle the Big will try to be there live for you. You never know. Things could happen. All right. Another one was the NXT call-up, Money Mike. So we did see this past week NXT, we did see Bronson Reed losing the North American title to Isaiah Scott, which is a great match, by the way, and congratulations to Isaiah Scott. Well deserved, but I thought it was too soon for Bronson Reed, but this is the reason why. As we know, as of late, Papa Vinny and your BFF Brucey has been going to the Performance Center. Been going checking out all the NXT rosters because as you can see, with all these cuts have been happening, they want to do a lot of change up and do very soon call-ups. We already seen an example, Karrion Kross. We'll see him on main event. Bronson Reed as well. We did see Shotzi Blackheart and of course Scarlett Bordeaux, which is Karrion Kross's wife. So a lot of call-ups are coming up now, Money Mike. Now Bronson Reed losing this belt. Do you feel like this call-up is coming soon to the main roster? And if so, where do you think is the best potential landing for him on what brand if he goes to the main roster?
I do believe he would be a SmackDown guy. My opinion. It seems that way.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Karrion Kross, I do see him going to Raw. There's a reason why Nikki Cross is not Cross anymore. So, yeah, she's Nikki Ash.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a
right?
lot of sense.
So almost a superhero. I believe that's the acronym there.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, no Nikki Cross. There's no relation to Karrion Cross, so get rid of that. Yeah, Karrion Cross going to Raw, and Bronson Reed going to SmackDown.
Now, do you feel like these call-ups are too soon for both of these individuals, and especially if you're taking away your NXT World Champion Karrion Cross? I mean, as we've seen right now, he's feuding with Gargano. But obviously, they're not going to be upcoming this Tuesday, which we'll talk about that. But do you feel that will this hurt the NXT brand for taking Karrion Cross away from the NXT roster?
It won't hurt it. NXT still has Adam Cole, still has everybody from the ex Undisputed Era. Finn Balor is there, as far as I know. To name a few, right? The roster will be fine. And honestly, I feel that Karrion Cross would benefit in going to the main roster more so than staying in NXT. I see main eventer right there, and apparently so does McMahon and my good bestest buddy in the entire world, Bruce Pritchard, as he sees it too. So great minds think alike, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's bound to happen. But now, who's he going to lose the belt to? Gargano? I don't think so. I mean, unless they clear Joe up, give Joe the belt. That's what I want to see. Screw it. If Joe's cleared to perform, let Joe dethrone Karrion Cross. Why not?
They could even go ahead and just strip him of the title by doing the jump to the main roster. They did that. They've done that a couple of times from what I remember. So protect your champion.
That is very true. Oh, they did it with Asuka. When Asuka actually she relinquished her NXT, went to the main roster. They can do the same thing for that.
And Paige.
Oh, and Paige, you're right. And Paige too. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that. All right. Now was the ending of the topic of the night, ladies and gentlemen, NXT. Because we're going to talk about NXT Great American Bash coming up this Tuesday on July 6th on USA. So there's only 4 matches that we have here. So it's before we get into those matches, but let's just talk about what happened this past week very briefly. Xia Li TKO'd Mercedes Martinez. Whoa. Ah, man. And she buckled, like literally buckled when she was trying to pin her. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, looks like that rivalry ain't going nowhere. But you notice that Xia Li was crying at the ring apron. The camera did not focus on Mercedes or Jake Atlas, during the aftermath when they got to win. But you could tell that Xia was just crying. She wasn't angry. She was crying like, oh, my God, I hurt her. Oh, she ain't hurt, but everything's okay. She had a concussion. Now it's going to take a while for her to get better and go through concussion protocols. And we'll see her in the ring soon. Speedy recovery, Mercedes, and well wishes. See you back in the ring. But what do you think about that knockout, that TKO?
Ooh-wee. Yeah, I myself have never gotten knocked out, so I don't know what that feels like. I've heard that it compares to falling asleep. That you just, like a quick thing right there. But yeah, again, if anybody feels like knocking me out, feel free. No. I feel like there's a line already for that. But yes, no, it's still real to me. Damn it, the bumps, the physicality of professional wrestling is real. If you, for anybody out there being like all the nerds out there saying, oh well, it's fake, and I could do that. No, you can't, because it's so difficult. It takes years of training. The only exception is Bad Bunny and maybe Kurt Angle. So, Mercedes Martinez, I hope speedy recovery, all that good stuff. I hope everything's okay. And yeah, so it's tough out there.
Definitely. And then, of course, we did see Roderick Strong coming in with this new crew, the Diamond Mine. Pick up the win. All right. I like it. He's becoming a little ruthless aggression a little bit. You can see he's coming out a little bit out of him. But I'm looking forward to seeing this new group and see what this faction is going to do. Yes, you have 2 you two have two besides Roderick, who's already a veteran now in NXT, but you have two upcoming ones with Tyler Rust and Suzuki. So we're waiting for them to see how they're going to develop, and I'm hoping they do great. I wish them the best. So we'll have to wait and see for Diamond Mine, see if it works out for them. And yes, all this time everybody thought it was Tessa Blanchard. I know. But right here, nobody died. Nobody did. We asked the question, and Money Mike answered it correctly, and I don't think so either. I don't think it was going to be her. When we saw that vignette, nope, it was not that.
Not at all.
Not at all. Now let's get to American Bash. So like I said, once again, 4 matches in the card. Go through them very briefly. So we do have L.A. Knight. Let me talk to you. Defending his $1 million championship versus Cameron Grimes to the moon. That's right, to the moon. So if Cameron loses, he will become LA Knight's butler. Who do you got in this one, Mike?
LA Knight, of course.
That's right. Let me talk to you.
Yes. LA Knight is one of those heels right now that I really enjoy watching, you know. I think, you know, like we talked earlier about, you know, if Karrion goes, then, you know, is NXT all right? Well, yes, of course NXT is okay, because we got the $1 million champion here, you know, LA Knight leading the way.
That is right. And also we have the NXT Women's Tag Team title on the line, which is, by the way, the number one contendership that happened as well. The opening match between, yes, fireworks everywhere. See Kurt Angle. Between Ember Moon, Shotzi versus Raquel and Dakota Kai versus who won the match, which was Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. That was a great match, by the way. So they'll be the ones challenging Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. What do you got on this one?
I'll go with the way. I'll go with Candice LeRae, that rhymes, and Indy Hartwell.
That's right. That is right. And also we have the NXT Tag Team titles on the men's side. This is a match that I'm looking forward to because, man, it's just how they were pumped up this past week. Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa challenging MSK for those tag team titles. This looks great, and the slap that they gave on Timothy and Ciampa going up to his ear. Oh, you got lucky at this one, but come this Tuesday, we're taking those belts from you and giving him a kiss. Like, all right, like it's like the death of Kiss, you know, like shit. All right, the kiss of death. I'm like, wow.
No, so Kiss will never die.
No. So what do you got on that one?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going with MSK. Honestly, I like what they're doing. You know, they're young, they're new there, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. You know, all that whole kiss of death stuff. You know, reminiscent of The Godfather, I think it was. You know, should be an interesting match. And honestly, I'm more intrigued in both men's and women's tag team divisions than the main roster.
Yeah, we already know how that is, unfortunately, because there's nothing there at all. Zero, nada, nothing at all. And of course, we have, I guess it's our main event, which is Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole in a straight shoot wrestling match. That's what they called it. So I just hope they ended with a story. It was fun seeing the last two. I think this should be the last one, please. I don't know how you feel about it, Money Mike. What do you got this one?
Yeah, they've kind of lost me on this one. May the best man win. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I think whoever wins this one, that's it. I think that the rivalry should be over and move on. We need to move on.
It's about time.
Yeah. Because the crowd is not getting into it. And I could tell. I mean, just by watching NXT on this past Tuesday, the crowd wasn't really much involved. I mean, they were happy to see Samoa Joe being in the middle, seeing Adam Cole suffering, and then Joe's like looking at him like, I ain't gonna help you. And walks out. Then so the security guards, just go help him out with Kyle O'Reilly. So I mean, it's it's not intriguing anymore with that storyline, and hopefully they move on with that, and we'll see, what happens next week about that. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about next week. We'll go ahead and talk about. We'll give our predictions for Money in the Bank because it's coming up.
Predictions,
the Money in the Bank predictions, and also we believe also the Ring of Honor Best in the World coming up next Sunday, July 11th. That's going to be a great card. Another one is a great one because you're going to have Bandito challenging Rush for the Ring of Honor World title. I cannot wait to see that match. If you guys are not familiar with Bandito, YouTube his matches, man, and he is. We'll talk about a high flyer, man. That guy is incredible. But I can't wait to see that match. And there's much more coming up for next week. Obviously, we'll recap next week AEW's Dynamite and much more. So that's why we're leaving it here today, gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. But before I let everyone go, I want to thank our audio platform listeners. I thank everyone from Bullhorn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. Thank you so much for listeners all around the world. Yes, unfortunately, and the Kool-Aid Man. There you go. You actually got it. You got the Funko Kool-Aid Man. Jesus, I need that Kool-Aid Man. I need it. But that's I'm gonna let Mike go ahead and let our German fans who are around the world, from Germany listening to us, let them know, Mike.
Es ist heiß hier auf California und es ist nicht gut. Ja. Danke für hören Sie Circle of Debate. Ja. Guten Tag, guten Abend, guten Morgen. Herr Welche. Danke, vielen Danke. Bis bald. Tschüss.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in here for episode 61. Once again, like I said, we'll be back next week with another one. And we might not have a top 5 this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 4th of July weekend holidays. And so, of course, we're all going to be on a little mini vacation.
I just can't wait to blow things up. That's it. Come on now. I want to blow things up for our nation.
That is right. You heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys be safe out there. Make sure you be safe with the fireworks. Be careful now. Got to be careful with the fireworks. And, especially going to be...
yes.
Don't do that.
No.
No, that's a no. No. You know what you're going to do, because then you're going to lose this.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So here from Circle of Debate Podcast, the TV's What I've been see here with the Master Disaster, the King of Sting, the Man with the Plan, Money Mike Lopez, wishing everyone a happy 4th of July weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Have a great time barbecuing, go on the beach, drinking, whatever you're doing. Have fun. Be safe out there. And I am going to let Mike end it here on Circle of Debate. Besides what we do here, Mike, but also let them know your catchphrase.
Oh, of course. And I've been thinking about something new here, because when you're the greatest podcast in the world today, they don't call you a podcast. They call you Circle of Debate. Good night.
Whoa! You heard it right here.